Good afternoon. Another edition of your favorite program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. 2 days to the 2019 general election, which of course will determine who becomes the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have so many presidential candidates. And of course, the incumbent, President Muhammadu Buhari, PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar are the foremost amongst all. My name is Ego Sagbola, welcoming you to today's edition of the program. On today's show, we'll be looking at the expectations from our discussants, from our guests on the show, as regard the 2019 general election. With me is a human rights activist, a legal practitioner, and of course, a chartered arbitrator, Barrister Patrick Isekwene. Nice to have you on the show.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
We are at the APV.
Yes. 2 days to the 2019 general election. Nigerians are anticipating. Nigerians are salivating. Nigerians are already looking forward to the conduct of the election, of course, by the umpire, INEC. So expectations for credible 2019 general election is the focus of our discussion today. This election has also gotten the interest of the international community. We have international observers who will be observing the election. So much at stake. Barrister Patrick Isekwene, what are your expectations for the general election, especially on Saturday?
Yes, I will express so much from my neck because we have talked a lot about this Saturday's election. Over a year, a lot of comments have been made as regards the election. And the INEC, on their own side, have promised us they will organize free, credible, fair election.
Okay. Now,
so that's why I said so much is expected from them. Now, INEC should not just use education to showcase their seriousness, their fairness,
yes,
their honesty. The part precision here and here. They should show the difference. Just like what happened during the Abiola selection, where we had Ofowosu was the umpire then. Yes, umpire then. Up to A4, the man proved to the world was the best election ever organized in the history of Nigerian elections.
Okay.
It's a different point.
Yes.
So I expect the current INEC chairman and his team to do a good work, to prove to the world. Not just, remember when the president traveled to the country, when he promised the world, and that's the Criminal Court of Justice, when he promised them that he's going to organize free and fair election. The same thing Goodluck Ebele Jonathan did. He promised the world that he was going to organize free, fair, credible election. And what he did.
That was in 2015.
Yes, and he saw what happened. That was the election that eased him out and incumbency.
Okay.
To show how transparent that
election
was. So I will better INEC to borrow a leave and do similar thing, not to favor any particular party.
Okay, I can see that Barrister Patrick Isekwene is loaded with a lot of ideas on this program, but so much is at stake. So many people are actually looking forward to the conduct of this election. The expectation is for a credible election. Just joining us, we have very eminent personalities with us. We have very seasoned political analysts with us. Mr. Isaac Irabo, nice to have you on the program.
Pleasure.
We also have politician, political analyst, and of course, he represents what is emerging in Nigeria now in terms of the youth clamoring to take over leadership. So he represents the youths on this program. Austin Ebegbe, nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we listened, we heard Barrister Patrick Isekwene actually expressing the need for the umpire, INEC, to actually conduct a credible election before the eyes of the world. We'll be getting the thoughts of Austin Eboigbe. Of course, he believes that Nigeria can be better. Yes. So, what are your expectations for the 2019 election? It starts on Saturday.
Yes, I expect a better election from what we've seen in 2015. We're supposed to do better from the departure of 1999.
Okay.
I think that this is not the first time we're conducting an election in this country. Nigerians are used to voting.
Okay.
Nigerians are used to contesting election, winning and losing.
Okay.
Yeah, we expect that the shortcomings that we saw
in previous elections
during the 2015 elections, we don't expect to see that now.
Okay.
We don't expect to see voter apathy. For instance, I think as of today we have about 80 million voters, registered voters. We expect to see at least a reasonable 50% of voters coming out to cast their vote and decide who will be in charge of this country and take this country to another step in another 4 years. We don't expect to see people, we don't expect to see thuggery as far as this election is concerned. We want to believe that Nigeria has gone beyond that level. We also don't expect to see the security forces taking side, being partisan.
Okay.
You know, in previous elections before now, we've always complained about inducement. We expect to see, even though at the moment we don't have laws in this country that completely, you know, condemn that or penalties for anyone who's involved in that. But we expect to see that Nigerians can be decisive enough. I mean, having gone through the pain of obtaining your voter's card, you should go to the polling unit and be decisive with your vote. On the part of the political parties, we expect them to be very matured. You know, above all, we expect to see a better election.
Thank you. Mr. Ezekiel Rabo. Yes, your take.
Yeah, well, I'm happy the chicken eventually is coming home to roost.
Okay.
My main take on this matter is on, I have been crying for over 20 years on the screens about voter education.
Okay.
Finally came to the fore. You can hear everywhere, more so when you have a multiplicity of television and radio stations, which are quite immediate. The newspapers and magazines are also awash with, you know, voter education, educating voters, especially on this issue of money for votes.
Okay.
There is hunger in the land caused by these nouveau politicians, just grabbing. So, but people should believe that there could be a sunshiny day, not too far. Yes, and the INEC has, well, they're really leading in this voter education. They are assuring people not be business as usual. You go and stay and take for voters and political leaders trying to corrupt people. Yeah. Give you so much money when you finish, when they are sure that you have voted, they give you the balance. So I think all these things are going to play. Okay. But I still hope that we can get it right. The international community, they're all here. They're all here. They've all taken their rooms in various hotels. Yeah. In Abuja and in all the states. And they are singing up. They're talking up. You're talking to them, they're talking back to you. Some are saying, well, whatever is going to happen is the internal business of Nigeria. No, it's not. We're in a global world. Okay. They are releasing one record in New York today. It's happening here in Benin City. You see, people are doing very well over the world. So this whole idea of is our own, Tiwa Yoruba, we call it. No, it's all gone. You must conduct good elections. If you don't, we'll have a torsion on you. You know, people, these dictators, they used to just look at their chests. Even some governors in some certain places, you know. No, it's no more that. If I'm a journalist, for instance, I'm a publisher, and if you take on me because I published a story about you, which I think is right, and I will not be the only one to answer. The police in Nigeria will not only be the ones, ECOWAS, African Union, United States. That's what you're seeing playing now. So I think it should be reinforced so that our local champions here who think they have so much power, they do not have so much power.
Okay.
They're telling the Nigerians, because we like to travel,
Yeah.
if you do wrong, we will not give you visas to come to our country. And you know when these guys steal money here, they run down there and deposit such monies in those countries. If you do this, do that, you know. So I really like that. There's tension everywhere now.
Okay.
You know, for those who think that it's business as usual, we'll just write the figures and present to INEC or people running away with ballot boxes. It's been around for a very long time. They should be very well. Don't kill yourself for no one. Because these people don't even like you. They come to steal what belongs to you, your mandate. We voluntarily, we willfully, we gleefully give these politicians, so-called, especially the nouveau politicians, our mandate. And as soon as they get into office, they stop us from coming to government house. So that's what you must know. They don't use us, they don't patronize us. As soon as they get into power, they give contracts with their friends and they export our money outside. We don't need that. Go out there and vote your choice.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac Irabo.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. Mr. Patrick Sekwene, something happened yesterday, and that actually doused the tension, camp-free names, and that has to do with political, the aspirants, or rather the candidates of the different parties signing a peace accord, which give credence to the fact that they do not want violence, they do not want thuggery, they don't want any crisis. And signing that document, it was the second in the series. I think some Nigerians feel relieved. Do you feel relieved with that peace accord signed by President Muhammadu Buhari, the incumbent, another very foremost candidate, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and others?
Well, for me, I don't see it as anything. You know, you are dealing with politicians. But you are dealing with politicians. Honestly speaking, they see that kind of political jamboree. Let us sign. Because the Rama have signed, I will sign. At the end of the day, they're not going to work with it. You know, politicians.
Don't you think it's a legal document once they sign?
Well, it's a legal document that you know they're responsible. Because the way they can circumvent it. That's why, for me, I look at it as a political jamboree. I was signing it. Now, if a political candidate's a party, some of their talks, you don't want to another, they will tell you I'm not aware. And he's aware. Like, you see, the only thing where that will have weight, the efficacy in what they're signing, is the government fair and fair election. To be honest. That is why, you see, the president was even appealing to them to please let peace trade and self-result. They also let him know, like a company like Atiku, told him right away that let people votes count. Let the result, let have the fair election. That's the only policy. So to make that the only way to have such a government can work is when you have free and fair election. So that's the adjustment for money. But if there's not free and fair election, it is what you give, you get. So they're not ready to, they just make formality, let's sign it. But what will determine the take care of that issue, what we're looking at, is to give the people the right thing. Not when you injustice and you expect to go the same document. They will not go, they will not be there. But the boys will do the needful. You are aware, the breaking news I just saw that now, about 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, that the supporter of the APC candidate in River State, they taking over INEC premises. The president had to go and do that. This accord was signed just yesterday. You can see them take their laws into their hand. So the issue is that let justice prevail. So there's no justice. You can only get peace when there's justice. If there's no justice, let me not just deceive you. We are wasting our time. That was our time.
Thank you, Barrister
Patrick.
Thank you, Barrister Patrick Sekwene. Let's get the thoughts of Austin Boybe. Yes, the peace accord, would that have any telling effects on Saturday's election?
Yes, I believe it does.
Okay.
Because if you're ready for trouble, and obviously the candidate that you supposedly you're supporting, and he's not part of your trouble,
Okay.
That ordinarily discourages you from whatever trouble you tend to foment. This is the 6th election we're having in Nigeria between 1990 dates.
Yeah, you're correct.
And successively we've had transition from one administration to another.
Yeah.
The president yesterday mentioned that as far as concerned, to the best of his knowledge, that the last transition was about the most peaceful transition in Nigeria. The peace accord does not go beyond the fact that obviously at the end of the election there will be a winner and there will be a loser. And as such, one must be willing to accept the outcome of the result. Otherwise, there are better ways of expressing your grievances.
Okay.
I mean, you have the court of law, you have the tribunals to go to, and not to incite people into causing chaos, into destroying properties and lives, you understand?
Okay.
You know, the fact remains that INEC, we want to agree with me that to some extent, INEC has come of age. It doesn't just lie on the table of the incumbent president.
Okay.
It doesn't just lie on the table of INEC. Free and fair elections in this country, as it is today, it's a business of you and I.
Okay.
The question is, when I get to my polling unit, what do I intend to do? Do I intend to vote peacefully and wait, or vote peacefully and go home? The party representative, what is their thought? What plan do they have? Do they intend to ordinarily go there, induce people, and in the case that doesn't happen, bring it talks and you understand? It doesn't just happen with one party.
Yeah.
It's overboard. The political system as it is in Nigeria, whether it's this party or this other party, how prepared are we as far as the free and fair election is concerned?
Okay.
How desperate is your position? How desperate is the government in power? You know, you need to begin to consider all these things. So if you look at an election to some point and you say, yes, this is credible enough, it's just good enough for you to accept the outcome. I think that's the purpose of the peace accord. It doesn't go beyond that.
Okay. Mr. Zikirabo, were you actually impressed with the second signing of a peace accord, of course, with eminent personalities who graced the occasion? Does that give credence to the ceremony, to the event?
Well, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
You're bringing in, we've done well
Okay.
as a government, Nigerian government, and also the many international bodies. See, when things go wrong, the way things are done today, it's what the international community thinks about what we have done or what we're doing. They are doing this because they have vested interest in this country. Finance, basically, the refineries, agriculture, they're here. They're in production. So they have their monies here. So they have interest in ensuring that the elections are credible, free and fair, and also these figures from outside are they're quite familiar with our own people. For instance, our president knows almost every president and has interrelated with everyone in the world.
Yeah.
So we expect that when things go awry or maybe awful, then, you know, Benin will say, when you are a little bit shy, I should have done this, but for beyond for years. So I see that. And I think it's something we need. And I think that these men, these gladiators, especially Buhari and Atiku, who basically have the same background, they're both Fulanis, they are both Muslims.
Okay.
And the ball is in their court. They have to show us in Nigeria that they are very civilized people.
Okay.
They have to show the international community that they are civilized people. If you lose, then step aside. We saw it. Jonathan did, with all due regards. He wasn't the best guy in the world. But for our country to survive, This is a great country, especially if you are privileged to go out of this country and see what Nigerians have done. Airspace technology, agricultural, genetic projects, medical doctors in almost every hospital, private and public. In the UK, the US, Australia, Nigerians, they went to Uniben here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you now give a bad representation at the national level. Our president must be above board.
Okay.
Must be someone who is strong and vibrant and can talk like Nigerians talk. If you get on an immigration line, you will know that is a Nigerian. Most vocal. Very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
That is what we want to project to the world. Let us not start playing this whole thing, is my brother, is my this, is my that. No, the best must come from this country. Because we owe all this to our children. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I see, if you watch some of these programs now on television, these are Nigerians. When they talk, you think they went to Oxford. And there are some who never left this country. That's the kind of Nigerian Nigeria we want to see.
Yeah.
Not this whole thing, you produce your worst for a great Nigeria. No, I'm not for that. I'm for a better Nigeria. You know, that we all can be proud of. So let Nigerians go out and vote for the best. Because that guarantees a man who doesn't know this thing, he just comes. He's here to carry the money. And takes the money, takes it out. Whereas that money should stay here and develop our country, our place. We don't have enough water, we don't have enough lights, we don't have and yet we budget so much money every year. These individuals, and you of course they all have what you call this money, this thing, the extra money they give them for security. No. Big time money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Such monies are kept in private accounts and used. Let us use this money to create a better Nigeria. Our people are still drinking from the well. It's unfortunate for a big Nigeria outside of this country. They don't now almost say that we're about one of the poorest in the world, and yet we are productive. I've seen that ad on TV. Productive. Then let's show it. Because you cannot be productive if you don't have light, energy. That's where it starts from. People are just lollygagging around, doing nothing. People cannot buy a meal. Do you understand? Our children cannot go to school in the year 2019. Primary school. We should think twice. Don't vote for no other consideration. Vote for Nigeria. A vote this time is a vote for Nigeria. And it's unfortunate that some of these smaller parties, because some of them have very good candidates, they are not able to emerge because they don't have they are not in every society, every
state council.
I've seen some of them. Fantastic, you know. But let's play according to the rules. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you. We'll get back to you. You can see how emotional Mr. Isaac Irabor is. That's the way, it's a reflection of the state of most Nigerians. They're actually anticipating the elections, which will commence with the presidential and National Assembly elections on Saturday. Okay, we'll get back to Barrister Patrick Isekwene. Now, let's look at how the pendulum will swing. Now, what do you think are the determining factors that will actually move the pendulum?
Yes, it's the performance on ground or antecedent of all the candidates.
Yeah.
A lot of persons are ready to vote for liberty, freedom, rule of law, economic empowerment, security, availability of food. They talk about the stomach. Then
are you talking about stomach infrastructure?
No, it's also good. Yeah, not pretend. Okay, yeah. Then the issue of the health program. These are the primary from our own that will influence a lot of persons. Some people want to, as everyone said about freedom, people feel that, they are being aligned, they are being kind of not allowed to voice out. When I say liberty, some people are in bondage. They feel like they're in bondage, they want freedom. When I say like myself, I attach premium to rule of law. But when there's rule of law, there will be no corruption, there will be justice, everything will go well. You feel we are one. Take issues the way they are. Don't bench. Let things look, equality. It's a rule of law, which will determine my own voting by Saturday.
Okay. Austin Efoigbe, yes. What do you think will determine the pendulum, where the pendulum will swing?
Yes, looking at the Fourth Republic,
okay,
I think that one of the challenges we have in this country is the challenge of leadership. And that is what Nigerians have been yearning for.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like Lady Rabo said, yes, you have, I mean, this is the first time we're having over 70
presidential candidates.
So we have a handful of them that we can choose from. But the truth is that we want to choose someone who wants to take us, to that point that we expect Nigeria to be.
Okay.
I think that Nigeria has good policies. The policies are there, the laws are there. But having the willpower to ensure that these policies are properly implemented, that's the challenge we have in this country. And that's the kind of person we need. We cannot afford a country where we have leaders, like he said, who will part away with our common patrimony and our common wealth. Take it or leave it. I think Nigerian voters should focus more on who represent them at the National Assembly. Because we don't just yearn for restructuring when you don't care about who becomes your senator, who becomes a member of your House of Representatives, who becomes a member of the House of Assembly. Because it's challenging. One of the major challenges we have in this country today is our constitution. We are asking for true federalism. It's not going to come overnight. We need to restructure properly our constitution. So how do your representatives, do they mean well for you? Would they be willing to make all the sacrifices to ensure that those things you are weeping for, that those things you are crying for, that yes, they make all of those sacrifices to ensure that we have the right constitution and all of those lacunas are blocked.
Okay.
We're talking about corruption in this country. I mean, it's one of our biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Beyond just fighting corruption, do you have someone who will do everything possible to also ensure that it prevents corruption?
Okay.
Those are the aspects that obviously are going to, as far as I'm concerned,
yeah,
are going to determine the election for the 16th
okay,
and obviously for that of March.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, Nigerians are willing, but they must be encouraged. They should encourage themselves to come out and vote. It's pathetic to note that a lot of young persons, I mean, young persons amounts to 60% of the Nigerian population. But unfortunately, a lot of young persons have their PVCs just because they want a national ID that they can present when they go to bank, that they can present because it becomes like almost the easiest national ID you can get. I mean, your international passport is probably quite expensive, or you don't have the money to afford it. Driver license, you pay for it and it's going to take a whole lot. So I want to tell them that the permanent voter's card is not just a national ID.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something, if you don't, it gives you a voice. You don't come out and criticize a government when you don't also come out to decide who leads you. So it's not enough to criticize from your bedroom. The time is now. Whoever you decide now, it's going to be for another 4 years.
Yeah.
So you must be decisive, whether you want Nigeria to make progress or you want Nigeria not to make progress.
Yeah, that's great. Mr. Isaac Irabo, yes, on Saturday it's going to be great. So, how would you, or what do you think will be happening or will be going on in the minds of Nigerians as we sit here now? What do you think will be going on?
Well, Saturday,
yeah,
like that old film we used to watch.
Okay.
He said the longest day, the day American troops landed
Okay.
in Europe during the Second World War. I expect all of us, all Nigerians, because we love this country, fertile land, best brains,
Okay.
Very proud people and highly productive.
Yeah.
If properly motivated. Saturday is a very special day, my brothers and sisters. Think less about that money. Make a little bit of sacrifice. Let's make sacrifice. Let's put good people in power.
Yeah.
These hungry people that just came overnight and took over our parties, let us push them aside. Let us let us start to nurture. Because there are a lot of good people in these other 70 parties, but they don't have money to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want everybody think less about this money. I know we're all hungry, including yours truly. But we must also say, no, well, people used to eat 3 times a day, let's take it twice.
Yeah.
Bad bole.
So what do you think will go on in the minds of Nigerians now?
What should go on, not what is going on. What should go in their minds is that let us honor our country. Let's vote the right persons into office. Because when eggheads come together and plan, they're likely to get somewhere.
Okay.
Not our hungry leaders. Not really hungry, they are avaricious and greedy. They want to carry the whole thing. Those who never built houses before are building houses for the first time.
Yeah.
They won't even build one. They're building 10 at a time because it's free government money.
Okay.
So please, think less about these people. Think more about those you think. If there are 2 things in Benin, if you are dead by of power, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So what's the interpretation of that?
Well, if you have 2 choices,
Yes.
you take one.
Okay.
I hope I'm correct. I'm
correct.
transliterating.
Okay.
So just go out there that day. Wake up in the morning. Shine your shoes if you can.
Yes.
Wash your teeth.
Yes.
And move on, because the projection is that on that day you will vote and stay back.
Okay.
And make sure that these vampires don't take over your votes. And
So your vote must count.
because I have suffered twice.
Yeah, I said your vote must count.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, let your vote count.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you have to, they say if you have to make some little, buy some little granite bullets, some food, some food or something, and be right there when they count.
Yes.
And for you who are minding the votes, these INEC people, make sure that the form, I think it's still from 8A, that's the one where you tally the result.
Yeah.
Make sure that the way it's done, let it be done. And also make sure that all the necessary officers sign that from EC8A.
Okay.
Let's send. And when it's going to collation, follow. Those who have been chosen by the different parties, follow, so that they don't rig. And that's why you need a party. When you have a good party, it's difficult to rig you out.
Okay.
That's the role of the party. But individuals just say they buy this, people buy that. When your partisan says they did not do it well, it will compel them to do it well. So I wish you all the best. Stay there, make sure your votes count. And that's the only way you're going to get the right people.
Okay.
And Nigeria will change.
Okay.
It must change.
Now, something very disturbing has happened, and that's the fire incidents, Oka. We saw ballot INEC materials burnt, Anambra. You know, these are very disturbing scenario. Austin Eboigbe, what's your take on this? Do you think we have adequate security ahead of this election?
Yeah, I don't want to believe that it's us on. I don't want to believe that those things were done by hoodlums and thugs. Because again, INEC, there's a report that they're saying that some of those things were a lot of electrical, you know. But the question should be, the good thing is that it happened just in the one in Plateau should not disturb the election, because the materials that got burnt are not materials that you will need for the elections.
Okay.
The one in Abia, practically the same thing. There are voters cards that people have not collected. So obviously, and we're not collecting voters cards at the moment. So I think that they will do the reprints, and whenever they are ready to come and pick up the voters card. The really disturbing one is the one for Anambra, where we lost about above 4,000
657
card reader machines. You know, I think that's the only disturbing one. But again, INEC has said that they will do all their best to mop up the extra card users they have from other states. It might not be sufficient. But again, the card reader machine, it's not, as far as I'm concerned, admissible today in this country by law.
Okay.
And such, we have the voters register. So, I mean, if I go and vote on Saturday and the machine malfunction, I will still vote. Because by the voters register, it will be obvious that I am a registered voter, and so I'll be given the room to vote.
Okay. So
I think that with whatever they will mop up and the voter register, people from Anambra State will be able to vote. And as such, the fear whether they will postpone the elections, whether they are going to give a separate date for that state, that has been doused. But what we're still saying is that after now, if that's the challenge with good governance, you ask yourself, Oka, for instance, where were the fire
fighters?
I mean,
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, let's even assume that it was hoodlums, even though we've not seen pictures or videos or whatever. Where were the security agencies attached to INEC when? I mean, so I think that every government at every level must take Nigerians serious and the business of Nigeria seriously. It should not be business as usual. And that is why we are calling on all well-meaning Nigerians not to sit back and look and say it's not my business. It is your business.
Yeah.
It is your business to cast your, in fact, it is your civic responsibility. It should almost be like a sin, having a voter's card and not going out to cast your vote, irrespective of how whatever it's going to cost you. And you must be law-abiding. You must not be unruly. Because again, that is one aspect. You see, you don't ask the policeman to be neutral. You don't ask the security agents to be okay. And then you that is voting, you are unruly. And then when the man approaches you, you say, this security man is for this party, for that party. The Nigerians must be ready to go by the rules.
Okay.
If they say voting ends by 2, why are you coming by 2:30 and you say they don't let me vote? What is that?
Okay.
So where have you been till 2 p.m.?
Yeah.
Do not allow chaos in your polling unit. Okay. It's not supposed to be. It doesn't cost you anything to be in the queue. It gets to your turn, you vote. If you want to wait, go somewhere and wait.
Okay.
And to the best of our knowledge, there is a ban on you using your phone inside the cubicle, not within the premises.
Yeah.
So if you are going to the cubicle and you have your phone, the policeman supposed to, you say no. I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
And if the man puts you aside, you say I'm a party agent. You can't put me aside. No. The law is the law. And I think I heard an advert that said, be peaceful so you don't lead the polling unit to prison. I think that, yes, I think that
that's a good one.
Yes. It's part of protecting your vote. Because when you cause chaos, there will be fracas. What's going to happen? They won't be voting at that polling unit.
Okay.
So be selfish enough, to be jealous enough to guard your vote. Okay. Because your vote will make a difference.
Thank you. Mr. Patrick Isekwene, disturbing trend, some INEC materials burnt. You know, this is actually disturbing. What's your take on this?
Yes, what I just transpired, we should say the truth where it is. I think the handiwork of some political buccaneers and regulators within those states, because they have two things in mind. One is to cause confusion, so that INEC will be in a kind of comatose, whereby they are saying, oh, let's support this election in these very states because of what happened. Some also did it as a way to ring the election. Where about 4,600 card readers are missing. This, my brother, this is a serious matter. You see, it has a serious implication. Because it's going to, how you expect them to conduct elections in such area? But all I know is that but they're going to rig, I know that incident form will take care of that very once. For them to vote. Okay. But there will be a lot of manipulation, which we try to avoid. No manipulation. You just incident, then start voting where you want. Oh, just vote. No more carry that. A lot of things will happen there, which will not be good for our democracy. So you don't add value. It's going to be a minus. So such happenings, I still maintain my stand here that it is the political gladiators that organize all these things. They've been doing it before, it's not new. Even on election day, you see the polling unit, somebody will come and run away with a ballot box. You see that people, again, sometimes you see people coming, stop, bringing already authenticated, they put it there. Say we talk will kill you. your president, they will put it there. They're all scared. And then they still count the same thing. They count, they give figures. So they're not going to our democracy. So what I'm going to say is that what I'm going to say in the sense that the masses should come out en masse, vote for the candidate of the choice, and make sure if you want to stay, don't go. Monitor the election, up to coordinating center. Don't go, don't be afraid. Because we have that day to defend that vote. Because that day matters a lot. It's next 4 years. You know, it's next 4 years. Anywhere in the world, it is the masses. They decide the fate of their country. You must take your destiny to your hand.
Okay.
That's why he said, "Salute popular supreme res." The will of the people is supreme. Vote populist first day. The voice of the power first of God. It is when they carry their things. That's how God will help them.
Yeah. Before we let you go, Patrick Isekwene. Now, still talking about the 2019 election commencing on Saturday, we've seen the role of the courts. In some cases, the Supreme Court. Now, the case of Rivers, we have the final judgment. The Supreme Court has made it very clear. So, and that means that APC candidates would not be on the ballot. APC candidates will not contest. And that's what led to the chaos that was reported. Now, what's your take on the role of the court as regards this 2019 election? Looking at Rivers, looking at Zamfara. The Attorney General has written INEC regarding Zamfara. Now, what's your take on this?
Yes, I think they have a lesson to learn.
Okay.
Both states, Rivers, both of them are APC.
Yes.
Party, but they feel that it's a occupancy party. Power, you see, the issue of impunity. You see, judiciary is not a arm of God can manipulate. And they've not learned their lessons. Because you see, how time in the world to meet up the deadline, and they get all the time, so much a problem, meet up the line. They say, no way. At time they get already too late. And they said, we are foreclosed. The time allowed, what you can do over it. They went to court. That's the nice thing to do. You go to court. Because that's why you must protect the judiciary. Because it's the bedrock of democracy. They went to court, and then the court said, no, sorry, by law, the INEC added within the habit of the law. You are foreclosed. What you can do about it? They went to appeal. From appeal, a stay was granted. They still went again further to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, that is the final arbiter in every matter. Said they have to look at the law. INEC, they offend the decision of the lower court. That's you are bound. You cannot contest the election. And that is the distant period in such an issue. What the law says, and that is the end of it. So to speak of giving that issue as they call the same barrier, the matter is over. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned now, both states, Zamfara, as a result of their own carelessness, as a score of the power of someone believe in impunity. That has not taught them lesson that you must try to obey the law, follow the rules of the game, because the judiciary is there.
Okay. Thank you. Austin Aboigbe. Now, this is in the public domain. APC, you are not speaking for APC, but you are speaking as a Nigerian. Now, the courts played a role. Some political parties or APC candidate would not feature in the Rivers case. What's your take on the role of the courts? You think the court is getting it right, or you think they are not?
Yes, it is not for me to interpret the law. Okay. But what I know as a young person is the fact that the political system in Nigeria, irrespective of the party, because as you have crisis in APC, you also have in PDP, you also have in SDP of yesterday. I mean, it's appalling. Yes. We must entrench internal democracy. It is very, very, very important. And that is why you don't get the best hands. That is why politics in this country, it's so monetized. We are campaigning today, we are not going out to campaign based on ideologies and ideas. We are showing the strength of finances. And that's probably what you're going to see during the elections. And it is wrong. Irrespective. We have a lot, like Parabo said, I mean, we're talking about the future of Nigeria here, not
about political parties now. Yeah.
We must begin to entrench internal democracy. Between 1999 and now, we've gone far. We've had over 6 national primaries. We should have. I mean, INEC has over 50 petitions. They are joining over 400 litigation cases. I mean, for what? If the choice of the people within the party, if you don't allow the choice of the people within the party to prevail, then what happens with the choice of the larger society? And that's why people still fear the issues of rigging elections and having malpractice and all of that. I think that the political parties must do everything within their powers to put their house in order. And let's begin to allow the will of the people to prevail.
Thank you very much.
It's very, very important. But having said that,
Yeah.
on the issue of the law, it's simple. I want to admonish INEC. You must obey the law. You must obey the rule of law. If the law is saying do not accept any candidates from Rivers, do not accept.
Okay.
If the law is saying accept whatever Zamfara has to submit, then you also need to accept it.
Okay.
Do not be one-sided.
Okay.
Be truly independent.
Yes.
That's my message to INEC.
Thank you. That's a good one. Barrister, Mr. Isaac Rabo.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Isaac Rabo.
Yes.
The role of the courts as regards the 29 election.
Well,
Are you impressed?
Yes, I am very impressed.
Okay.
I'm impressed. Even though you see, it's a young man, Mr. Boy, but you
Yeah.
mentioned something that struck me
Okay.
like lightning. This whole thing about internal democracy
Yeah.
in a party. You see, you still hear them talk about consensus candidates. What does that mean? Is it a properly nominated candidate? Because if you don't get it now, you get it in future. That's exactly what has happened to our great party, our own great party,
Yeah.
the APC. I'm a card-carrying member of APC. But these new leaders, because that's why you see me, the old politicians, they say we are no good. Because no politicians have learned from the past.
Yes.
When we fielded the great Buhari, he almost became the only party. No, it should never have been. Some of us, we quarreled in our stomach,
Yeah.
in small places. Put a plethora
Of
of
aspirants.
eligible. Is it from this? Is it from that? Of course, he's our candidate now. The other people, after learning from their lessons, how many the PDP people had? They had plenty of them. They went to a convention. Then you juggle, you do these things. But these new people just come, consensus. Is their candidate? They don't have experience. The people they are putting forth don't even have experience. They will be at the end of the day. They will crumble like a pack of cards. Let us learn to do right. We stay, you see Nigerians who cannot stay on the queue in Lagos to go to America or to any foreign country. As soon as you go to Heathrow, everybody falls in line. No noise, no fight, no nothing. But these same people, when they come here, there must be disorder. Why? We should not. Because in disorder, they get what they want. No, that's not the way to
Thank you, Mr.
So
Isaac.
I
Yes.
want to beg our people,
Okay.
not apportioning blame anywhere. Let us, whatever comes out of this, we will all learn from that experience. That is what I want to tell the party leaders. It's the party leaders now. Because if the head is not straight, the feet cannot be straight.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac Rabo. Great
Thank you.
one. Your party was Barrister Patrick Sekwene.
Yes, I appeal, I passionately appeal to Prof. Edo State to go out on Saturday and mass and vote. Because it's painful that some people, they don't even register because they feel that they've been neglected. Please go out there on Saturday and cast your vote. It's very, very important. Vote for liberty. I urge you. Vote for freedom. Above all, rule of law. That's my advice.
Austin Eboigbe, your parting words.
Yeah, I want to
this
say to young people, especially,
Okay.
I mean, 60% of the Nigerian population, that
Okay. The youths, you mean?
yes,
Okay.
that your PVC is first your voter's card
Okay.
before your national ID. So please ensure you make good use of your PVC. That's my party word.
Thank you. Mr. Ezekiel, about your party.
Same old thing.
Yeah.
Go and do what is best for Nigeria.
Okay.
Go and do, not even for yourself, no, do for Nigeria. Let us have a prosperous country. Let the whole world begin to quote us as it happened, as the Nigerian head of state. Prolific office. The whole world, as stubborn as Trump is, everybody listens to Trump on every channel. That's how we want to be in Nigeria. We should be proud. This is our country. Educate our children. You know, shelter the homeless. You know, teach the illiterate. You know, that's the country that we want. They get light. We don't have light. It's a shame. Is it not a shame on all of us? We don't have energy. Then what can you do? You can't barber. You can't do this. You can't do production. You can't do anything. And we will not bring out these leaders. If they are not productive, jettison them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
That's my parting word.
Thank you.
You know.
Gentlemen, thank you for being a part of today's program. My guests have been very, very wonderful. And my viewer out there, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's edition of the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. On Saturday, it will be the election we've all talked about, we've all looked forward to, the 2019 general elections. By God's grace, we will be here again on Thursday next week, and we'll be looking at other issues. Of course, the fallout of the presidential and National Assembly elections. My name is Egusa Agbalao. Do have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.